Witness the night sky in Israel erupt like a deadly fireworks show. The rockets pour out of Gaza, reaching for the inhabited cities. Then bright lights soar into the air, booms erupt in the sky, the Iron Dome is activated, and the citizens gasp in relief. That is the miracle defense system which has already saved thousands of lives. The interception rate is an astonishing 90% in real battle scenarios. The media hails it as an invulnerable shield, revolutionary technology which upends the entire textbook on modern warfare. The Iron Dome defense system of Israel is the stuff of legend. However, there is one crucial vulnerability hidden within the math of this system. It is a critical flaw, and it is being actively used by enemy forces. In other words, this defect may make this entire system worthless in the event of a future conflict. We're now going to tell you just how the Iron Dome works and expose the weakness, keeping Israeli defense strategists up at night. The Iron Dome system was developed out of necessity. In 2006, Hezbollah launched almost 4,000 rockets into northern Israel during a conflict that lasted 34 days. Israeli cities were under attack. The Israeli military could attack back, but they did not have a defense against the incoming rockets. Rafale's Rafale Advanced Defense Systems was granted the contract for the seemingly impossible task of creating a mobile system capable of intercepting short-range rockets in mid-flight. Work in the system began in 2007, the first battery entered service in 2011. Since then, the Iron Dome system has been tested under enemy fire thousands of times. The Iron Dome is comprised of three components. The first component is the ELM 2084 radar, which continually scans the sky, tracking dozens of objects at any given time. The instant the rocket is launched, it detects the signature. In seconds, data is inputted into the battle management system, the rocket's flight path is computed, and the point of impact is forecast, and the crucial decision is made here whether this rocket poses any threat to the inhabited zone. If it is not so, then this rocket is neglected. If it is assessed as a threat, the rocket will be intercepted by the Tamir interceptor missile launched by the system. Each Iron Dome site is allocated between 60 and 80 Tamir missiles. The Tamir missile will then accelerate, lock on the target through its onboard radar, and explode by proximity fuse. The whole process takes 15 to 20 seconds. The achievements are quite striking. The Iron Dome system has intercepted more than 5,000 rockets so far. The interception success rate is always over 90%. The system prevents hundreds and thousands of deaths by stopping enemy rockets from hitting homes, schools, and hospitals. The cities which were emptied by rocket attacks are now functioning normally. The psychological terror induced by rocket attacks is almost entirely nullified. This is revolutionary technology, as no other nation is comparable to it. The path prediction algorithms are sensitive to the wind, air density, and rocket capabilities. The rocket's position after 15 seconds is computed with no error margin. The cost versus benefit analysis is also advanced, as it independently decides on which rocket's interceptions are required. Detection to interception, 20 seconds. That is all the time the Iron Dome takes. It is truly an incredible and successful system, but it is flawed and fatally so. The problem is mathematical and brutally simple. Each Iron Dome battery has 60 to 80 interceptor missiles. The system is capable of simultaneously engaging multiple targets, but there are naturally some constraints on this capability. In essence, one battery can handle, say, 10 to 15 engagements at any one time. Now do the math. If an enemy is launching 100 missiles in a synchronized attack and only 15 can be engaged by the defense, what becomes of the other missiles? Some will be harmless and will be merely skirted, but many will get through. The system is overwhelmed, and this is exactly how Hamas and Hezbollah have adapted their strategies. During the Gaza conflict in 2021, Hamas launched 4,360 rockets within 11 days. During the peak rocket attacks, they launched hundreds of rockets in minutes, strategizing to overload the Iron Dome's capability. And some did break through. There were casualties, there were buildings on fire, the magic shield is no longer invincible. The economics are worse. Each Tamir interceptor will cost between $50,000 and $80,000. On the other hand, the cost of the Qassam rocket is only between $300 and $800. These are pipes packed with explosives and low-grade propellants. The asymmetry of the cost is staggering. In exchange for one interceptor, an enemy will be able to develop 100 rockets. It'll cost Israel $50,000 to protect against a threat of only $500. The defense expenditure is in billions while attack in millions. This is economic warfare and the defending side is losing. There is no country in the world that can afford to spend billions in defense against millions. In the long run, economics will be on the side of the attacker, who will have no trouble launching low-cost rockets faster than Israel can afford to shoot them down. Geography makes the problem worse. Each battery guards an area ranging 70 kilometers in diameter. The Israeli borders are over 1,000 kilometers long. You simply can't guard all areas at the same time, even with 10 batteries. This leaves gaps which can be detected by the enemy and used against the system. Launch rockets on the edges of coverage areas. Target spaces between batteries, launch from unexpected directions. The enemy analyzes the system, understanding the coverage and vulnerabilities. The most dangerous scenario is the northern border with Lebanon. Hezbollah has an estimated 150,000 rockets, which is far beyond Hamas's capability. If war were waged against Hezbollah, the Iron Dome will be subject to continuous attack on all fronts for weeks. The system will be overwhelmed in days. The Iron Dome is well suited for this task, as it is intended. However, it is neither the only nor the ultimate defense system. The ballistic missiles with hypersonic velocities are beyond the reach of the Iron Dome, and thus the Arrow defense system is required here. Two different tasks call for two different systems. Cruise missiles and drones are other types of missiles with distinct challenges. These kinds of missiles are low-flying and follow the shape of the land, and they're also agile. The radars in the Iron Dome system are challenged by these types of missiles, as they're difficult to detect against the background of ground objects. The development of low-priced, the reaction time is very limited by very short-range mortars in the Iron Dome. Before the system is able to calculate and respond, the mortar may already be landing. There are certain mechanical restrictions on reaction times. The 90% interception success rate is quite commendable, but the implications of the 10% failure should be considered. In this attack, 10 missiles are still successful out of 100. Each missile is capable of causing casualties or damage to infrastructure. This success rate worsens under saturation attacks. When the system is presented with more than it can handle, interception success will reduce. During the peak rocket attacks in 2021, several rockets were successful in penetrating the defense. Others argue that at peak saturation, the success rate may go as low as 70%. There is also controversy over what constitutes success. How much damage must an interceptor do to the rocket if it still hits close to the target? And is this success? When debris hits and creates casualties, is this success? Once the batteries use up all their missiles, reload takes hours. Missiles are brought by truck. Each missile must be individually loaded into the batteries by the crews, and during this critical phase, there is no defense by this battery. But their enemies are aware of this. Sophisticated attacks include waves intended to drain batteries and then hitting during the reload phase. When batteries are limited in scope but have to protect wide-ranging areas, Israel's strategists are faced with no-win decisions. Protect the north and leave southern areas undefended? Guard urban areas and leave the bases unprotected? The arms race is still on. The enemy has tactics designed to outsmart the Iron Dome. Some missiles employ path manipulation, changing their courses erratically. There are also those that use decoy warheads and chaff. Recent designs have improved steering, and this enables accurate projectiles by improving cheap, unguided rockets. This exacerbates issues for the Iron Dome, as it now must intercept missiles which otherwise would have been intercepted by natural courses. May 2021 was a harsh stress test. In 11 days, Hamas launched 4,360 rockets at Israel. Iron Dome worked well, destroying most of them. Most is, however, not all. Many did reach residential areas. In the city of Lid, one killed several persons. In Ashdod, buildings were hit. In all, 13 civilians were killed by rocket fire. There would have been hundreds without the Iron Dome. The loss of 13 lives is only proof that saturating attacks are successful. You will hit your target no matter what simply by launching enough rockets. The weaknesses were laid bare by this conflict. The batteries were running low on all interceptors, and there were emergency calls to resupply. Some batteries depleted their missiles and are no longer operational, at least on a temporary basis. There are still positions without coverage. The system is under constant attack, and this is against Hamas, which does not have much capability. October 7th, 2023 brought a different limitation into play. The attack brought thousands of rockets, ground infiltration, paragliders, and drones. The defense system, Iron Dome, targeted the rockets, as it was intended to handle rocket attacks. The attack, on the other hand, used various vectors. This revealed the inherent weakness of technology-reliant defense. The Iron Dome system is peerless at what it does, but it only addresses one set of issues. When dealing with an advanced enemy with simultaneous domain engagement, no amount of missile defense will be enough. The failure of the intelligence is just as important. If all the technology is useless, if you are caught by surprise by the attack's timing and size, then all the systems, including the Iron Dome system, are useless. The Hezbollah threat is much greater than any other threat the Iron Dome defense system has known so far. Intelligence reports show 150,000 to 200,000 rockets and missiles, including precision-guided ones from Iran. These are no crude rockets. Many of them have been programmed to reach over 100 kilometers. In a Hezbollah conflict, Israel will be bombarded at levels well above 2021. Thousands of rockets per day for an extended period of time, hitting the entire nation. There are perhaps 2,000 interceptors in all of the Iron Dome batteries combined. The math is terrifying. It would run out of missiles within days. The aftermath of any attack takes time to respond, and it will require resupply missions. Producing more interceptors will take weeks and possibly months. The government will have no choice. The implications are clear. There is no invulnerable defense system. Numbers overcome advanced systems as long as the attack is overwhelming enough to saturate defenses. The issue of sustainability applies well to economics, because when the defense system costs exponentially more than the threat, sustainability becomes problematic. This is because the aggressors will recognize and respond to this need by making defense costly as well. Most significantly, security will never be achieved through technology by itself. The Iron Dome protects lives and ensures crucial security, though this must be done through a well-integrated web of security through intelligence, deterrence, attack, and diplomacy to secure the prevention of conflict. So what do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and do not forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.